Hey, Smart News. I just wanted to pop on YouTube and say hello because we're not talking to each other over Instagram today. And the reason for that is a major outage for Facebook and its platforms, which include Instagram and WhatsApp. So, what's going on? What do we know about this outage? We don't know much. This outage started for Facebook and Instagram for these other properties around mid morning on Monday. And now we're going into the late afternoon, early evening, and we still don't have a lot of visibility about what's happening. You have a ton of different reports. You have reports of hacking, you have reports of human error. So we have really no idea what's causing this, but we do know that this seems to be the longest outage that we've ever seen in the history of the company. So that's really significant. It's significant for a few different reasons. We know that 3 out of every 7 people on the planet is on Facebook or connected to the platform in some way. So this has widespread impact, whether we're talking about just connecting with each other or businesses being able to reach customers. And it's bringing up a lot of questions about the power of this platform, which, by the way, has been a major news story over the last several weeks, but really in the recent few days. Just last week on Smarter News, we covered the story of Instagram for Kids. The company announced that they're not going to pursue it as aggressively, this idea of an Instagram platform for tweens, after this Wall Street Journal report was suggesting that the company basically knows that its platforms aren't great for young adults. Now, just to be clear, when I looked at some of the slides, because Facebook released the internal research that was at the heart of these Wall Street Journal reports, they do paint a picture. They paint a picture of some children being harmed by their platform and others finding connection through it, finding information. So I do think it's important to check out the slides yourself. We actually link them through Smarter News just so that you can see what is at the source of some of this controversy. In the meantime, though, after all of that was sort of brewing last week, you still had a big week coming up for Facebook because this whistleblower came out on 60 Minutes and said essentially that the company was promoting behavior that was hateful and divisive. And I'm not really summarizing that in the best way possible. I'm going to make sure that there's also a link on our website to this report. Basically, this whistleblower took thousands and thousands of pages of internal documentation and shows that, in her opinion, Facebook is creating human behavior that resonates with the worst of people. So, for example, European lawmakers appealed to Facebook and said, we are seeing that our content is only cutting through if it's divisive content. We actually don't want to do that at some points, but we can't get through your platform any other way. So she's saying, listen, there's something going on here with Facebook that's actually pushing human behavior and motivating human behavior that's negative. And she didn't like it. And again, I'm kind of using broad strokes, but this woman was going to testify in front of Congress and is again putting more pressure on this huge technology company. When you think about the power of Facebook, you just have to think about, man, if Facebook was a country, if they had a currency, they'd be bigger than any other country in the entire world. They're twice the size, more than twice the size of China. So they have major leverage, but they're also coming under pressure, whether it's regulatory pressure about how they're running their businesses, and just pressure about from consumers too, about how much we want to be involved in these platforms. Listen, I love social media. You know that I use it for news delivery. It's important to me and my business. And it's important to me because it's important and convenient to you. But there's always that question about, when do you cross the line into losing editorial control and actually investing a large portion of your life in a platform, in a social media platform. So just some things to think about today. I'm going to have more on all of this tomorrow, but if for some reason we're not back up on Instagram, thank goodness for YouTube, because we post all of our content that we do on Instagram on YouTube. And some of you may not have realized that because, it's easier to just be on one channel. I get it. But here's just your backup. Here's your backup. Because if there's a lesson from today so far, everyone needs a backup. So questions and comments, let me know, and we'll have more on all of this on smarternews.com. But keep you posted.